What's going on, everyone? Just wanted to get on here because I know there's a lot of people that felt like my post was abrupt and that it was kind of out of nowhere and not a lot of details were shared. But it's something that's been going on for some time, and it's honestly something that I have put off talking about because I didn't know if I was allowed to. It's something to do with legalities, and it was honestly regarding the first time that Kelly and I met. I had driven out to her in Wisconsin, and I live in Illinois. This is a legal state for marijuana, and I had a vape in my dash. So I had gotten pulled over for speeding. I was in between a couple of cars, but I was picked out as the guy to be caught, which, again, not chance or luck. So that played out. The vape was on my dash. Didn't hide anything. Said, yeah, it's mine. Gave up everything that I had in my car, which was being brought to Kelly because she does suffer from MS, and I was bringing something that helps her. So ended up having to do a whole field sobriety test, and I've never even been pulled over before any of this stuff. So given the whole field sobriety test, taken into custody, put under arrest, brought to the hospital, give blood, go through all that scenario, get booked. And then now I'm at the situation where now they've revoked, or not revoked, but suspended Wisconsin license, which I never had. And now that's going to probably affect my Illinois license, which again is a legal state, but I don't know what's going to happen. There's been a lawyer that I had, which the lawyer I don't get a lot of communications with, so I'm in the dark a lot with all of this. I figured that's why you get a lawyer, right? You kind of have them navigate the stuff that you don't know about. And there's just been a lot of mental, I'm not going to say anguish, but there's just a lot of mental battle because of the life that I've lived. The channel that I've created, I mean, everything about my life is about following, what's best for you. And that only is because I had to live that. I had to achieve that. I went through the alcoholic life, and I know and I can discern the difference between what I do with marijuana and the intent behind it, and the intent behind alcohol and the numbing that I was doing with it. So having this scenario, and you can tell I'm already anxious talking about it, it really messes with my head, and it makes me wonder who I am really, and what am I advocating for, and why am I advocating for it? All I know is that this whole scenario, which happened in June of last year, it was the first time I ever met Kelly face to face. She ended up having to sign a piece of paper claiming that she would take care of me as someone who was driving under the influence, and that was our first meeting physically. And then what tied it together for me, and that how it had to play out as being a broader picture, was the fact that my court date was for 8/28 of the next year, which 8/28 was or is Kelly's birthday. So that in itself was just a whole roundabout way of saying, Alan, this is meant to happen. Now that doesn't make it any easier. Having to talk with the lawyers about this, being told that I now have to get Illinois lawyers involved, being told that I have to kind of figure all this out for myself just to get ahead of it, I don't know why. I don't know the why, because if I have to do something, this is being treated as a DWI. So am I supposed to go back to AA and just advocate? Am I supposed to be brought back to those places just because of the fact that they are in dire need of people who have joy in their life rather than the repetition of I am an alcoholic? I had to live through this. I had to go through all this to get out on this end and know what works for me. Same thing with the mental health. I had to achieve my own discerning of what works for me and what totally doesn't. And I've done the pills. I've done ADHD, ADD, bipolar 1, bipolar 2. I've done the psychotherapist. I don't know where this is going. And that's why it's so much more frustrating, and how I can look at my life and know what's working well, but now having to be able to justify that to somebody that really doesn't care at all. Not in the smallest little shred do they care about my life and what I have been through to achieve where I'm at today. It's very upsetting to me. It makes me want to cry. It really does. Even the fact of like seeing all these comments about the goodness of my heart, about where I'm at. Like, this is real. This is me. This is what I've worked for. But now, suspended licenses, Illinois licenses taken away, no more driving abilities. Where did I go wrong? It's hard sometimes. You can get sober. I've been sober. December 23rd, it'll be 10 years this year. None of that matters. The backstory doesn't matter. The journey doesn't matter. The people that are, again, not chance or luck. I even told my lawyer that even this situation was even for the police officers that were doing the whole entire field sobriety test. It's not just for me. It's a bigger thing. And for me to have every expectation of that police officer smashed. He thought I was going to run away. He kept on asking if I was on cocaine. It blew my mind. I'm like, dude, I'm just a normal guy, man. I'm chill. Like, I'm not doing anything. You need me to do something? Sure. Move forward. I'm not a criminal. But doesn't matter. Paper, I'm a drug addict. Apparently, having that vape and having any THC in my bloodstream, I'm a criminal. I'm a drug addict. One and the same. No matter how much growth, no matter how much turning one's life around, you're still under the judgment of others. Overcoming that. Knowing self, loving self through it. It's not easy, especially when you're on the other side, having come so far. Ego wants to come out. Ego wants to blame. Ego wants to say, why me? But I have to reel that back in. I'm real about all this stuff. I don't hide it. People at my work know that I'm going through it. My son even knows that I'm going through it because I'm not here to hide anything. Because I was telling him, just like when you're a kid and you look at these adults and where they're at, you're like, man, they're so grown up. You never reach that point. There is no this like precipice of being an adult. You're figuring it out as you go along, just as the parents before us. Most of them just following out with the habitual thoughts that they've done ever since they were raising us. A lot of it hasn't changed. But it's just exhausting. It's tiring to me. Every time that I have to do something with this, which is few and far between, it'll get out of my mind. And then it'll come back after I have to talk to somebody, and it's all brought back to the surface, especially when I'm totally let down with nothing happening. And it's sad to me that like we live in a day and age that if you come so far within an individual growth, you can't even go into a court to justify your own life and what you've been through and worked through. You need somebody else that you don't even know to do that for you. Again, behind these eyes, that's sad. It makes me sad. I'm doing the best that I can. Always. And I am real about this stuff, and my channel was here for the benefit all in knowing that drug addiction, alcoholism, suicidal tendencies, all of that can be overcome. And I'm living proof of it. And I started this channel because of the fact that I knew that I had something to share, being that it is still going, that I am still a sober individual. Yes, I use marijuana. I used AA as a stepping stone for alcoholism. I use marijuana as a stepping stone for mental health. To each their own. What works for you works for you. People always fear it. People judge it. And that's because they don't know about it. Life teaches. You can't have a judgment on it unless you've experienced it for yourself. And now having been arrested, now having gone to jail, now having to do all of this jumping through hoops, the relatability goes through the roof. The amount of people that can resonate with this, the amount of people that have gone through this, I can now talk to them. But I just wanted to get on here and just give a little bit what's going on. I'm doing my best to work through it all and stay patient with myself best I can. And that's all I can really do, because like I was saying, in the end, I'm not the one making the calls. I'd like to think that I am through my vibes and my thoughts and how I put them out there. But sometimes I just don't know. I guess I have this guy. And he'll always be here. Luckily, he is not hiding from me, and he still likes my vibe. I'm not in that crazy negative, but I am sad. I don't know what the future holds, and I need to be okay with that. We'll see what happens. I appreciate all of you being here and for listening to what I have to say, and from here on, thank you.